Right now on Morning News Now, bracing for impact, Hurricane Debby taking aim at Florida this morning, bringing with it powerful winds and heavy rain and leaving more than 100,000 people without power. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declaring a state of emergency for 61 counties and warning people about severe flooding.
Do not go into flood waters. There could be dangerous debris, there could be down power lines, and please do not drive your vehicles through flooded streets.
We're tracking the hurricane and finding out how authorities are battening down the hatches. Also this morning, the U.S. says it's trying to de-escalate tensions between Israel and Iran after Tehran said it would retaliate against Israel for the assassination of Hamas's political leader on its soil, the latest out of the Middle East and a region on edge. Here in the U.S., Vice President Kamala Harris is getting closer to picking her running mate after holding meetings with prospective candidates. What we're learning about those talks as she kicks off a mammoth campaign tour. Plus, as close as it gets, Noah Lyles clinches the 100-meter gold in a dramatic race in Paris, beating his nearest rival by a whisker. We've got all the reaction to that photo finish and all the other biggest headlines out of the Olympics.
Good morning. Good to have you with us on this Monday. A busy news morning. I watched that race. It was thrilling. I did not know it was the torso, the clavicle, apparently, that has to cross first, and that's what decides it by 5/1000ths of a second.
So not by a nose, but by a torso.
By a torso, exactly.
I'm Christine Romans.
I'm Joe Fryer.
All right, we start in Florida, though, where 61 out of 67 counties are under a state of emergency this morning as Hurricane Debby pummels the Gulf Coast. The Category 1 storm packing 80-mile-per-hour winds has already caused tens of thousands of people to lose power. Forecasters say the biggest concern is catastrophic flooding from potentially historic rainfall, up to, Joe, 20 to 30 inches possible in some areas.
Weather conditions did intensify over the weekend. On Sunday, the Coast Guard had to rescue two boaters. They lost their sail 73 miles off the coast of Boca Grande, leaving them stranded in 15 to 20-foot seas. You can see here several roads in Pinellas County already underwater. Officials warn the worst is yet to come. NBC News correspondent Marissa Parra is on the ground in Steinhatchee, Florida, with the latest.
Christine and Joe, you are catching us in a down moment, but as Debby is making landfall, we are expecting wind gusts up to 90 miles per hour. We're in Steinhatchee, Florida. This is part of the Big Bend. Right behind me is the Steinhatchee River. This is about a mile outside of the Gulf of Mexico, and this is what we are watching very closely. This is a big part of this story here, because remember, Debby is not expected to be a wind maker. It is Idalia 2.0, the hurricane that hit at late August of last year in this same exact area. But the reason they're calling it Idalia 2.0, it is not expected to have the same wind strength that Idalia had, but it is expected to be twice as much of a rainmaker. And this is important for coastal communities like this one. Further south in Horseshoe Beach, they are expecting anywhere between 6 to 10 feet of storm surge. This is an area that was hit hard last year. You remember those images of houses being swept away. I spoke to the mayor of Horseshoe Beach yesterday. He said he is very concerned. They lost 75 structures last year. They are still recovering. That leaves them in a very vulnerable place for a storm exactly like Debby, what we are expecting here. Now, as those winds pick up, the main concern we talked about is that rainfall. Between flooding, rainfall, storm surge, those are all, of course, big concerns. But another one, the tornado risks here, and then, of course, all of those risks moving further north towards Georgia, towards Charleston, South Carolina, where we have crews awaiting Debby. But here we are awaiting to see what Debby does to the place that's still recovering from Idalia 1 year ago.
All right, Marissa, thank you so much. In Steinhatchee, Florida, where just moments ago, that is where Debby did make landfall.
Yeah, making landfall. Now let's bring in the director of Leon County Emergency Management, Kevin Peters. Leon County is home to Florida's capital, Tallahassee. Good morning. Busy night, I know, for you, I'm sure, Kevin. Thanks for joining us this morning. We know this is a really busy time for you. What is the weather like right now? What steps is your county taking to prepare for this storm?
Yeah, we've been watching for Debby really all of last week as it went through the formation phases. Through the weekend, we offered sandbags to prepare for any flooding that might occur. Our emergency operations center is activated. We've been coordinating with our county officials, our city officials, as well as our partners at the State Emergency Operations Center to get ready for this storm.
Where you are, you're about an hour and a half from where Debby just made landfall. One of the biggest worries is forecasters saying this storm could just stall repeatedly along its path, bringing heavy historic rainfall in a short period of time, but happening over a long period of time. Talk about what your biggest worry is when it comes to that.
Yeah, so that flooding is not a situation we've had with our recent hurricane history here in the Big Bend. A lot of the storms that have affected these counties, such as Idalia, very much wind storms. We have to go back in to around 2008 with Tropical Storm Faye for the last time that we've seen a significant flood across the Big Bend, like we could see from Debby as it makes landfall through the day today.
What's your message to people in the county, sir, especially those who chose to ride this out?
Yeah, so if you are if you've taken shelter, you're in a place that's not on the coast, you're not already evacuated, you need a shelter in place right now. This is not the time to be out. Clearly, the images you're showing on TV with the winds and the rainfall, dangerous time to be on the roads. Certainly, if you approach roads as we go through the day, as the rain slacks off, but you encounter flooded roads, do not drive through roads that are flooded. Obey all the traffic signs. Avoid getting into flood waters if you can. Most lives are lost in tropical weather due to water hazards, whether it's storm surge or inland flooding. So you need to stay safe and avoid the floodwaters at all costs.
Once the flooding starts, how difficult will it be for your teams to go out and actually rescue people, whether they're in their homes and stranded or whether they are in cars and stranded?
Well, across our area, our fire service, our law enforcement at the local levels, they work to practice and train for water rescues. We have great partnerships through our State Emergency Operations Center to access state resources from our state law enforcement agencies. The Florida National Guard and the State Guard are all prepped and prepared to respond to any flood needs in any of the counties in Florida that may need that assistance.
All right, Kevin Peters, thank you so much for joining us, and stay safe today, sir.
All right, thank you.
Let's bring in meteorologist Michelle Grossman.
That's right, she's here with the latest on Hurricane Debby's movements and your local forecast for the week ahead. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, guys. You guys, this will be a story for days to come. We are going to see this rain falling through the end of this week because this storm system is going to come to a halt over the next several days. Here's the latest on Debby. Winds at 80 miles per hour. We're going to see those winds greatly decrease as we go across land here. We're concerned about tornadoes. That's always a threat with landfalling hurricanes. We're looking at the movement northeast at 10 miles per hour, so it's slow, but it's going to slow down much more than that. The winds are howling. We're looking at the rain falling. You can see all these dark colors here. That's where that heavy rain is falling. We're seeing 2, 3 inches per hour. That's why we're seeing that flooding. That's why we're concerned about flooding and flash flooding going forward. And the winds are gusting to up to 54 miles per hour in Perry. These aren't huge numbers, but still we have leaves on the trees. The ground will be wet, so we could see some trees and power lines coming down. We still have right now over 200,000 people without power. That number is probably going to grow. Here's the track. This is what we're watching as we go throughout time here. Weakening to a tropical storm. Doesn't really matter. We're still going to see a lot of rain with this system because look at this. Monday at 2 p.m., Tuesday at 2 a.m., Wednesday. We're still talking about, days and days in the southeast as a tropical system jumps into the Atlantic and then it jumps back on land. And still Friday and Saturday, we're talking about the Carolinas. So we're going to see anywhere from 20 to 30 inches of rain in some spots. That's going to be catastrophic and life-threatening. So we do have tropical alerts dotting Florida all throughout the southeast as well, from pretty much north of Naples all through Charleston. And this will be the case as we go throughout time here because we're going to see this system impacting this area for days to come, locally 20 to 30 inches. Notice Charleston, Savannah, where you see those darker colors, that corresponds to 15 inches. It doesn't take a lot of rain to flood these areas, especially when you're seeing these amounts, and we could see locally up to 20 to 30 inches. Storm surge, we're always concerned about storm surge. When that rain comes down, that is fresh water. When we have a storm surge, that is a wall of water, so it's salt water. And we're looking at 6 to 10 feet along the Big Bend of Florida as we go throughout time here because it is making landfall as we speak. Let's talk about the risk for severe storms as well. We're looking at the northern plains into the upper Midwest, parts of the Ohio Valley, the Northeast, into New England. We're concerned about severe to strong storms. Could see some really gusty winds, also seeing some heavy rainfall with that too. You can see the lightning right now as we start out on this Monday. But 29 million people at risk for gusty winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. Could see some damaging hail. Also, a few tornadoes are possibly, especially where you see that yellow area, anywhere from the Ohio Valley into the Northeast, Toledo, Scranton, Albany. But that's going to break the humidity that is going on there as well. Besides that, we're looking at hot and humid conditions in the South Central states, temperatures into the 90s, into the triple digits as we go throughout the next couple of days. Hot and dry in the West. And we're also looking at those heat alerts. We're looking at 31 million people impacted by heat alerts. We have heat advisories, heat watches, heat warnings. The West are included there, parts of the Rockies, down through parts of the South Central states, the Gulf Coast, Jackson, New Orleans, and that summer steam will continue. Look at all these numbers, numbers into the triple digits. Salt Lake City, 101, that's 9 degrees above what is typical for this time of year. 113 in Las Vegas, and Wichita into the 100s. So, guys, I feel like we say this every week, but it is busy.
Yeah,
we had Debby,
kidding.
right? Debby, we have some severe storms, and we have this heat also.
Yeah, and we know Debby looks like it's going to be a story all week long.
Yeah, it will be.
All right, Michelle, thank you so much.
Sure.
Nice to see you. All right, turning now to the race for the White House in a week where Vice President Harris is expected to announce her running mate.
6 people met with the Harris campaign in recent days. Whoever she chooses is expected to join her on a tour of 7 battleground states. That tour starting on Tuesday. For more on the state of the race, we're joined now by NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba and NBC News senior national politics reporter Jonathan Allen. Good morning to both of you. Monica, let's start with you. Where does the Veep stake stand this morning? How close are we to Vice President Harris making a decision on who her vice president could be?
We think that today is effectively decision day, Joe and Christine. We know that over the weekend, there were really key meetings. The vice president was also drilling down with her vetting team led by former Attorney General Eric Holder on some of the finalists and some of the issues or maybe some of the things that they would have to go through if she potentially picks that person. Then yesterday was a little bit more focused on that face-to-face interview type setting, seeing what kind of chemistry she had with these potential vice presidential nominees, and also discussing some of her priorities, like making sure this person would be a good governing partner and somebody that, you know, she feels could take over on day one potentially, since that is the ultimate role of the vice president. But we do know that tomorrow is that deadline for the rally in Philadelphia in the evening. So something could leak out today. But as far as I was told, she's still making her final decision and final arrangements today.
John, let's bring you in. As we mentioned, the newly minted Harris ticket is going to tour these battleground states this week. What do the locations of where Harris is campaigning with her running mate, what will that say about her strategy for this election?
Well, as Monica noted, we don't know exactly when she's going to make an announcement, but we do know that she's going to be on the campaign trail with this person tomorrow later in the day. So I think, the first thing here is that the first stop in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia is very close to Washington, D.C., and the campaign headquarters in Wilmington, Delaware. I suspect that's the biggest thing to read into it. More broadly, these are the states that the campaign is focused on. In particular, obviously, those Rust Belt states that have made the difference in the last 2 presidential elections, being Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. But in addition to that, those western states, Nevada and Arizona, Georgia, where Joe Biden won narrowly in 2020, and North Carolina, where Donald Trump won narrowly in 2024. If anything, 2024 is more and more resembling the 2020 and 2016 races, than it had at any other point.
We've gotten to know those states oh so well. So, Monica, let's talk about the debates here. We learned Friday former President Trump is ditching the presidential debate that was set for September 10th on ABC. It was originally supposed to be Trump-Biden. He's instead proposing debating Vice President Harris on Fox News. What more can you tell us? Do we see the Harris campaign agreeing to that one?
It doesn't seem so, and here's why. The Harris campaign is effectively laying out the argument that we committed to this. This was something that they had tried to tout as former President Trump claiming he would debate the top of the ticket anytime, any place. So why is he changing his mind now? And we understand that ABC, which is set to host that September 10th debate, has told the Harris campaign that she will have the time whether her opponent shows up or not. But here's a little bit more from what we heard in terms of that specific debate idea from Donald Trump.
We're doing one with Fox if she shows up. I don't think she's going to show up. She can't talk. She can read a teleprompter. I'd give her about a 6 on a scale of 10, 6. For talking, I'd give her less than a 1. We need people that can talk.
Now, remember, these were the debates that were agreed to now some time ago, back when the June debate, the infamous June debate now, that changed the course of this presidential race for sure, and history maybe more largely, was set. So they're arguing this has been in the books for some time. But remember, guys, after we do get Vice President Harris's running mate pick, then they have to solve the issue of when the vice presidential debate will be, which there has been no date formally accepted for that yet either.
John, over the weekend, third-party candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. posted a video on his X account acknowledging that he abandoned a young dead bear in Central Park here in New York back in 2014. He says this bear was struck by a woman driving a van. He picked it up. He was going to skin it, then ran out of time, left it in the park. What should we know about this? This is a bizarre story.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing that it says is that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. lives a very different life than the rest of us. He was on his way, according to him, to go falconing with some friends, came across this bear that had been struck by a van, put it in his car because he wanted to skin it and eat it later, but ran out of time because he was late for a dinner and ultimately ends up dropping it in Central Park. I mean, this is less straight believable than the movie Cocaine Bear. I mean, just like you know, I mean, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but just it's such a wild story. It could only be true because who would sort of make that up? He came out and said this apparently because the New Yorker was about to report it. It leaves a lot of questions about whether laws were broken in terms of the, leaving a dead bear, a cub, in the park, and raises other questions about his judgment.
Yeah, it reminds me, it was a big news story at the time.
Yeah, you said you even were reporting.
Yeah, I was reporting on it at the time. Nobody could figure out why there was a dead bear in Central Park. It was very odd, and now apparently we know. Monica and John, thank you so much.
It turned out the nephew of a president was responsible for that.
Yeah, and just wild. All right.
2024.
Nice to see you guys.
International news now. Israeli officials have told NBC News the country is bracing for a potential attack by Iran and its ally Hezbollah. Tensions are high after the assassinations of leaders of Hamas and Hezbollah. An Israeli official tells NBC News there are fears that Iran could launch waves of missiles and drones over several days. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin spoke with Israel's defense minister on Sunday, trying to de-escalate the situation. NBC News international correspondent Matt Bradley joins us now with the latest. Matt, good morning. So the U.S. is boosting its forces in the region, we know, because of this escalated threat. What do we know about what role those troops could play?
Yeah, Joe, it's a great question because not only are those troops and military and naval assets, Air Force assets here in the region once again, and this has been happening repeatedly ever since October 7th, they're here ostensibly to defend America's ally Israel in case of attack, not just from Hezbollah here in Lebanon, but also from Iran itself. And that's what, as you were saying, there are really sky-high expectations that it is Iran who once again, after they did so in April, could be lobbing attacks directly from Iran itself, which would be the second time in history they've ever done that. They're also here to defend American troops who are in the region, spread out as they have been for generations, namely in Iraq and Syria and in other naval bases and military bases throughout the region. So this is a real risk and one that we can see the United States government is taking very seriously. Joe.
So, Matt, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken held a conference call with his counterparts from the other G7 countries on Sunday. What do we know about what was said?
Well, we know that he's warning that there could be a real risk of an escalation, and this is something that we've been hearing about for the past several weeks. So this is something, as you were saying, this is the reason why they're bracing for war. This G7 issue is something that we've been hearing reverberating for quite a while. These warnings are going to continue. We've been hearing, and this is one of the things that was said by Antony Blinken, that these attacks by Iran and by Iranian proxies, including Hezbollah here in Lebanon, could come as early as today, could come this week. We don't know exactly. There's a lot of speculation that's going around the region. I don't want to, scare everybody by repeating everything, but it sounds as though they believe it could come momentarily as soon as in the next couple of hours. There was also a lot of talk, rumors really, that it could come as early as last night. It didn't, but it could come really at any time.
Matt, thank you so much for your reporting. Appreciate it. Coming up, mortgage rates are taking a slide.
So could this be a good time to buy a home? And what in the world's happening in the stock market overnight? We'll discuss all of this after the break.
Welcome back. Mortgage rates are falling, which is piquing the interest of those who've been patiently waiting to buy a new home.
Yeah, those rates have dropped to levels not seen in over a year. The average rate for a 30-year fixed loan is now 6.4%, while a 15-year loan sits at about 5.9%. The new rates are bringing some relief to a market plagued by high prices with a limited supply of homes. Investopedia editor-in-chief Caleb Silver joins us on set for more on this. That's a big story for consumers. Right now, though, we're looking at a big overnight sell-off in stock markets around the world after that jobs report on Friday for the U.S. was a little bit cooler than expected. What on earth is going on?
Yeah, well, actually, these are connected. That sell-off actually started last week because of that weak jobs report, and then you see a big tumbling in the 10-year Treasury yield. That is a sign that investors don't have a lot of confidence in the near-term economic prospects for this country. So as the 10-year Treasury yield falls, so do mortgage rates. That rate, that 30-year, was about 7.5 just back in April. Massive drop, which is potentially going to bring some more buyers back in the market. But we have a stock market meltdown going on right now around the world. In Japan, markets were down some 12%. Futures here in the United States not looking good 2 hours plus before the open.
So much for the summer doldrums in the stock market. You're going to log into your 401k today and you might freak out a little bit.
Just
I said don't. Just hold on.
Let's start with the mortgage rates because we have where they are now because of what you've said. Explain why they are where they are, and do we think they're going to keep dropping potentially because perhaps even the Fed might have a bigger say than we thought earlier than we thought, right?
Yeah, as we know, the Fed did not cut interest rates last week. The thought was they would maybe wait until September. There's now talk about an emergency meeting this week to potentially cut rates because that jobs report was so weak, and there's some other economic signals that are not so strong right now. So if that happens, you know mortgage rates are going to go down. The thing is, more than 60% of current mortgage owners have mortgages that are under 5%.
Right.
So they need mortgage rates to come down further before they sell and go look for a home. Potential buyers that have been on the sidelines have been waiting for these mortgage rates to come down, because if you were to put down 20 grand on a $400,000 house a couple of months ago, it would have cost you $2,200 a month in mortgage financing. Now it's just $2,000. As that rate keeps coming down, it gets cheaper to buy a home, and home prices are falling because demand all of a sudden went away. So this could be a very interesting fall.
So characterize for me the American economy, because you said that a couple of these indicators have been weak, but isn't the economy strong but slowing because of all of that Fed, pressure on interest rates, raising interest rates? We're not, going down the toilet here.
We're not. This is not a total collapse, but the headline numbers are really strong. GDP grew at 2.8% last quarter. That's really strong coming off of the first quarter. It is going to slow. We've seen mounting job losses. We saw that unemployment rate tick up to 4.3%. That's a big tick up from 3.8% just a few months ago. So some headline numbers are really strong. The real feel in the economy, folks earning the median income, folks servicing their debt, folks trying to pay for health care, food costs, and rent, that does not feel very good. So you have more than half the country not feeling great about the economy. The headline numbers will tell you it's okay. We're going to have a lot of a shakeout here right now, a little bit of a shakeout here in the stock market, but also in just the overall economy.
With folks who are looking at the mortgage rates right now, seeing things are rather fluid and maybe unpredictable, if you are looking to buy a new home, or perhaps you bought something during the peak interest rates and you're thinking about refinancing, what's the best advice right now?
You can refinance. A lot of folks, about 25%, are eligible for that refinancing because they did buy above 6%. So as rates come down, you're going to see mortgage reapplications rise, and you're going to see more people try to get into the housing market. I have a feeling prices are going to come down more, and this rate's going to dip even lower. So it's going to be a very active fall buying season in the real estate market.
That should be interesting because it's been a freeze out for a couple of years now, right? All right, Caleb Silver, Investopedia, my old friend, nice to see you. My young old friend, nice to see you.
I feel like I'm part of a reunion here. All right. So, of course, interest rates went up over the last couple of years because inflation was so high, which is why inflation is a top election issue this year. So what could we expect when it comes to prices if Vice President Harris is elected or if former President Trump gets another term? NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung takes a closer look at their economic policy plans.
Inflation under the Biden-Harris administration hit a 40-year high. And while the pace of price increases has dramatically declined since peaking in the summer of 2022, things are still about 20% more expensive than they were at the start of Biden's term. Former President Trump making it a core part of his campaign.
We will end inflation and we will make America great again.
But it's actually a second Trump term that some economists are worried about when it comes to inflation.
the outlook under Trump is decidedly more inflationary.
The primary reason for why a Trump administration could lead to price hikes, making it costlier to import goods into the U.S. Trump is threatening to slap a 60% tariff on goods from China, a top trade partner, with a 10% levy on nearly everything else coming in from abroad.
Countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China.
Mark Sobel worked at the Treasury Department under administrations from both parties.
Cost of tariffs will largely be passed on to consumers, and the Peterson Institute has estimated that Trump's tariffs could add $1,700 a year to the average household's costs.
Then there are tax cuts. A central accomplishment of his previous term, Trump has promised to extend those tax cuts and entertain new ones too, like making tips tax-free.
And that might pump up demand and add to inflationary pressures.
Translation, more spending that might encourage companies to raise prices. Finally, there's Trump's pledge to crack down on illegal border crossings and deport undocumented immigrants.
By this time next year, America's borders will be strong, sealed, and secure.
Sobel warning that could force employers to pay more for labor.
Employers are going to have to bid up costs, and you're going to have to pay more as a consumer.
Trump still citing inflation as he attacks his new opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris, who admits Americans are feeling the pinch.
While inflation is down and wages are up, prices are still too high.
But Biden dropping out may be helping her out. A new Bloomberg Morning Consult poll showing Harris cut into Trump's lead on the issue of inflation by more than half with swing state voters. Still, for undecided Americans, Harris will have to answer criticism that Biden policies like stimulus checks and the expanded child tax credit contributed to the inflation spike. The administration acknowledging American worries about affordability with a new push against junk fees.
On day one, I will take on price gouging and bring down costs.
While the public awaits more comprehensive plans from both candidates, the Federal Reserve is attempting to do its part to curb inflation. The central bank's high interest rates have already helped, but with new fears of a worsening slowdown in the jobs market, there are expectations it could be cutting rates at a time where inflationary policies from the White House may be on the way too.
Our thanks to Brian Chung for that report.
Right, coming up, battening down the hatches.
We are continuing to track Hurricane Debby as it makes landfall in Florida this morning. The latest on the ground as officials brace for what is next. That is after the break. We're back now with our continuing coverage of Hurricane Debby and the threat it's bringing to the Florida coastline this morning.
The storm made landfall this morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time near Steinhatchee, Florida, as a Category 1 hurricane with sustained max winds of 80 miles an hour. Debby is expected to bring life-threatening storm surge. Tens of thousands of people are without power already this morning. NBC News correspondent Jesse Kirsch joining us now from Perry, Florida, with the very latest. And it looks wet. Jesse, good morning. Conditions there have deteriorated in the last few hours. What are you seeing now in Perry?
Hey, good morning. So we are past the worst of the winds, from what I'm told by our friends in our climate unit. But you can see we're still getting pelted with rain out here. Hurricane Debby, a Category 1 storm, has officially made landfall in the United States. There is the risk of high wind damage, storm surge damage, which we are always talking about when it comes to hurricanes. But the thing about this storm that we're going to remember is its pace. It is moving at a crawl, and that is going to allow that much more rain to just keep dumping across multiple states. We're talking about not just Florida, but Georgia and South Carolina. All three of those states' governors have declared states of emergency, and we are looking at the possibility of around 30 inches of rain in some areas over the next several days. So that is something we're going to be talking about and watching all week long. As for the impacts of Debby so far, we are seeing a reported more than 200,000 power outages in Florida alone. We are seeing hundreds of flight delays and cancellations reported nationwide online, according to Flight Tracker FlightAware. So you can imagine a good amount of that potentially being tied to the weather impacts as well. And we are starting to get the daylight here. We'll be looking to see any kind of damage. And right now you can still see we got some pretty good winds out here at its peaks. We've been seeing wind gusts around 80 miles per hour for Debby. It appears we are past the worst of that right now where I am in Perry, Florida. But this is the same area that was hit hard by Idalia, a Category 3 hurricane last year. So this is an area that has been in recovery for the last year and is getting hit yet again this morning, guys. We'll be keeping an eye on this. We'll check back in with you later on.
All right, Jesse, as you mentioned, I mean, the wind is one issue, but the biggest worry is the rain and all the flooding. How worried are first responders about that? What is their biggest worry about all that flooding?
So we had a curfew here overnight, and we just checked to see if that was going to continue. This is Taylor County, and we checked with officials to see about that curfew continuing. And, Joe, they told us they lifted that curfew. It was just going to be an overnight curfew, and it's coming back this evening. But they've lifted the curfew. And what I can tell you is right now, I do see a car actually driving by on the road right now. The winds have definitely died down from where they were earlier, but no question, there's a lot of rain coming here. And when you have that kind of flooding, of course, there's a concern not just for property, but for lives as well, of course. And what I'm told by our climate team is that this is what is known as a high-risk flood day. And according to NOAA, that is when you have the overwhelming majority of property damage, and you can have a significant amount of deaths as well when it comes to flooding in this kind of day. So this is definitely not a day to be venturing out, Joe.
All right, Jesse, thanks so much, and stay safe there.
We're joined now by Alachua County Communications Director Mark Sexton. That is where Gainesville is. We're talking about 70 miles east of where Debby made landfall in Steinhatchee. Thank you so much for joining us. Just what's the weather like right now? What's your top priority at this moment?
So at this point, knowing that it's made landfall, we're kind of waiting for the storm to pass across the state onto us. We have experienced, up to 5 inches of rainfall already. It's very concerning to us that this thing is moving slow. We are predicting if it doesn't speed up, we could get as high as 20 inches of rain. And that's causing all kinds of issues. The fundamental problem in Florida right now is we've had a very wet 2 weeks leading up to this storm. So our ground is already saturated. So the water has no place to go. So it's flowing into creeks and rivers and flooding low lying areas. And that's a great concern and causes all kinds of issues.
And it looks like, Mark, parts of your county could actually be hit by the eye of this storm. The eye wall, so strong, that can have heavier rains than even Hurricane Idalia. That was a Category 4 storm that really devastated parts of Florida last year. So your biggest concern there is, this could be a very dangerous event for you.
It could be. Right now we've got multiple accidents. We've got localized spot flooding. So far it hasn't been, major flooding, but again, this thing is moving so slow that it will dump a lot of rain if it doesn't speed up. We've got thousands of power outages. Last count I saw was 15,000 for a county of 280,000. We've got down power lines. We've got a lot of debris. We've had multiple accidents, 10 times the normal accidents that we have in a day. Fortunately, there have been no injuries or fatalities, so we're very grateful for that.
That is definitely some good news. What is your then top message to residents, especially when maybe in a little bit they're going to see the worst of the winds pass through, but the rain is still an issue? What do you want people who live in your county to know?
Depending on how quickly this moves, we have not seen the peak of the rains of the wind where we are. So, we hope folks will take this opportunity to hunker down, to stay off the roads if they are able. We would like you to only travel if it's essential. Fortunately, because our wind speeds are still under 35 miles an hour sustained, our first responders are still out there, our public works crews, our ambulance crews. We will come if you call because the winds are allowing that right now. But we want folks to stay safe. We have 3 shelters open, pet-friendly, medical needs shelters. If you are concerned about the flooding in your area or the structural integrity of your home, get to a friend or a loved one, or last resort, come to one of our shelters. We'll take care of you. So today is a good day to let us do what we do in the public service area and let folks clear the roads, restore power, respond to down power lines and trees down. If you can, give us room to breathe today.
All right. Mark Sexton, thank you so much for your time this morning, and continue to stay safe.
All right, let's bring back meteorologist Michelle Grossman for the latest track.
Hey there, Michelle. Good morning.
Hey there, guys. Great to see you. And as Jesse and Mark said, the biggest takeaway from the storm will be the historical rainfall that we're expecting, life-threatening, catastrophic, and it's going to last for days. This is the latest on Debby. We're looking at winds at 80 miles per hour. It did make that landfall. Notice this pink box here. That is a tornado watch. That is very common with landfalling hurricanes. Where it crosses, we could see really quick spin up. So we're going to watch it as we go throughout the morning hours. Also, look at all this heavy rain falling. It is pouring. This is tropical rain where you're seeing those brightest colors, the reds, the oranges, the yellows. We're seeing 2 to 3 inches per hour. And again, it's going to move very, very slowly. That is the problem. So it's going to be able to drop a lot of rain over the next several days. We're going to be talking about the storm through the end of the work week. Today, the system is going to move very slowly, crossing throughout Florida, also Georgia. The threat of strong winds and torrential downpours will continue. And then by tomorrow, it's just going to meander. It's not going to move very far. We don't have steering currents to move it on or move it out of here. That's why it's going to kind of linger in the same area. The center of the system hugging the coast, tropical deluge targeting South Carolina and Georgia. That's where we're expecting the most amount of rain. And then look at Wednesday, just still spinning off the coast in one spot, bringing all that heavy rain. You're still seeing those really bright colors. So Debby remains parked over the southeast, and we're going to still see that high risk for flooding in Savannah to Wilmington. This is why we're looking at the chance for up to 20, even 30 inches of rain. You want to prepare for that. It doesn't take a lot to have some flooding. We could have a strong thunderstorm and see flooding in some of these spots. So we're looking at Charleston, Savannah, where you see those darker colors, the reds, especially Wilmington. You're going to see some heavy rainfall totals over the next several days, but also Raleigh, Columbia, Douglas, down in Jacksonville could see some very heavy rainfall. Again, life-threatening, catastrophic. Those are some words you need to keep in mind and take those warnings. We're looking at impacts in terms of storm surge. When you hear flooding, that's fresh water. Storm surge is a wall of salt water going over dry land. So the highest spots would be 6 to 10 feet from Cedar Key along this red area, 4 to 6, where you see the yellow, 1 to 2, the blue. And then we're concerned about storm surge, too, as we go throughout the Carolinas from Charleston to Savannah, also Brunswick. And we're also concerned about those high winds bringing down some power lines as well. Back to you guys.
So much going on. So glad you're covering it for us, Michelle. Thank you so much.
Coming up, you may have heard about dry January. How about a dry vacation?
Yeah, why more people are ditching the holiday cocktails and the destinations you could head for the best booze-free trips. That's next.
Welcome back. Summer travel is in full swing, and experts are already noticing a growing trend emerging among some vacationers.
That's right. More people are booking sober curious or alcohol-free trips and sharing their experiences online with the hashtags like dry tripping, sober travel, and alcohol-free vacations. Those hashtags went up 205% on platforms like X. On TikTok, a hashtag alcohol-free was associated with more than 200,000 posts.
It's a lot of folks. Travel expert Mark Elwood joins us now to help break down the trend. Mark, good to have you with us. So walk us through this new trend. Why does it seem like more people are ditching the pina coladas and the Mai Tais? And how is...
Oh, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. I will say, I think it's generational. We all know that if you look at Gen Z's alcohol consumption habits, it's a Stanley Cup generation, not a solo cup generation. And we Expedia did a survey last year that said 40% of Americans were looking to book alcohol-free vacations. It's a really natural reaction to the pandemic. I think wellness became something we were really proactively aware of for the first time. And what is the easy part to wellness? Cut out the booze.
Yeah, cut out the booze. I think I saw a survey a study last week that said no amount of alcohol is good for you.
Oh.
I chose to ignore it. Yeah. I chose to ignore it. What are some of the top destinations travelers can go to make sure they are taking advantage of an alcohol-free vacation?
Absolutely. I would suggest, look, don't forget domestically, there are some dry counties where effectively you can't buy alcohol. You can consume it if you brought it with you, but you're surrounded. There's places on the Jersey Shore where you can be completely alcohol-free. But we're looking at places like Nepal, Costa Rica, both wellness-centric destinations. Morocco has phenomenal national parks. I think people always think of Marrakesh and some other cities. The outdoors in Morocco is phenomenal. Same things in Turkey and Greece. Remember, you're on a beach. You don't have to be drinking a pina colada. You could be drinking a sparkling water, nice and early. You get the best lounger if you're there.
I have a friend who's going to Saudi Arabia for a couple of weeks. I'm like, well, that'll be a sober vacation for you as well. So,
100%. Yeah.
So before taking off, what kind of excursions can travelers book that don't revolve around drinking? What are some tips to help people actually find those activities?
I think the key is really you want to blend physical and relaxing activities. In other words, you don't want to just be lying around, because then you'll be drumming your finger. You've got the menu in your hands. Take away the temptation. Do a little bit of hiking. Remember, too, if you're with other people, you can say, hey, I'm not going to drink, and this is a choice. I'm very happy to do this. I would also encourage you to adjust your day. An alcohol-free vacation is all about early mornings and early to bed. Much easier to resist temptation if you're up with the dawn, see that incredible sunrise, go for a run on the beach. But by 9:30, 10, you're in bed with a book, and you don't feel the same FOMO. So adjust the clock of your vacation, and I think it'll be much, much easier.
Plus, I think the experts will tell you you'll probably sleep better as well.
I'm sure you will.
All right, Mark Elwood, good to have you with us this morning. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Let's go to Paris now. Team USA's medal count now stands at 72. That includes 19 golds after another huge weekend.
Yeah, and adding to the overall medal count lead for the U.S. was the men's skiff sailing team. After 5 days of racing off the coast of Marseille, Hans Henken and Ian Barrows fought their way into fourth place to give themselves a chance at the podium going into the medal race on Friday. The duo went on to win the bronze and bring home the first sailing medal for Team USA in 8 years. And Ian Barrows and Hans Henken join us now. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning, and thanks for all you're doing for Team USA. Congratulations. Tell us what it feels like to be the first Americans to secure a medal in sailing since Rio.
Yeah, it feels absolutely amazing to be able to pull this off for the U.S. sailing team. I mean, we've been training really hard for the past 10 years, and we campaigned just after Rio ended, and we had that Olympic dream. That dream really bit us in the butt, and we kind of took it on. And yeah, to be here right now and win a medal just feels incredible. We had put so much time and energy into all of this, and we really just executing that last race was fantastic.
We know you had to deal with, 2 postponed races because of a lack of wind. For those who are unfamiliar with sailing, at least maybe realize it's different from, say, swimming, where everything's in an arena and controlled. What are the biggest factors that can make a difference for you guys at your level? How do you prepare knowing that the conditions will dictate so much of the race?
You just got to realize that a lot of it's out of your control, and you got to stay patient and calm when things aren't necessarily going your way. And luckily for us, the 2 races that got canceled, we weren't doing very well in. So we felt very fortunate that they got canceled. And yeah, we're stoked.
You teamed up together 3 years ago with the goal of making it to the podium on the world's biggest stage there in Paris. How have you seen each other grow over the past 3 years? And what's been the road like to get to this very moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible. One of the biggest things about our team is we're kind of like yin and yang with each other. You know, like all of the strengths and weaknesses that each other have, we really complement in every single way. So throughout the last couple of years, we've been really able to hone it on each and all of those things, and to be able to work together and balance those on the water has been a real key to our success. I mean, whenever there's a struggling day and maybe I'm not able to do my job incredibly well, Ian's right there to back me up with all the encouragement, positive energy, and I think that pays dividends in the end. I mean, to be able to go out and execute in one race in one moment, and to cross that finish line and win the bronze, it really takes teamwork, and it takes everything to be able to make it happen. And at the end of the day, we're really, really good friends. We have each other's backs, and that's really what matters in the end, and that's what really got us across that line and secure the bronze.
That is awesome, and I'm sure this is the ultimate test of that close friendship. So I know for each of you, I mean, this is the first time you've both made an Olympic appearance. I'll ask each of you this, starting with Ian. Now that you've had this experience, what's the biggest lesson that you can take forward, and just what has this experience been like for you?
I think in general, just if you work hard at something and you're determined and you keep persevering, I think anyone can accomplish anything. So just, yeah, hard work and keep trying, and things will work out.
Hans, how about for you?
Yeah, I mean, in a very similar way, it's to accomplish big things, it takes a huge community. You know, like this medal isn't just our medal. There's a huge huge family behind us with the U.S. sailing team, with our coaching staff, with our family and friends. It takes a big community to do really, really big things, and to be able to lean on each other and work with all of our friends and family, our coaches. And that was really, really special, and I think that's something that you should look for. Like, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to reach out. I mean, having that support system is huge, and I think with more people involved and then having that, I mean, you can accomplish huge things.
What's it like, guys, to be surrounded by all these amazing athletes? I mean, obviously you're cheering on Team USA, but you're probably meeting all kinds of really amazing people.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're definitely fanboying around here, seeing all our favorite athletes, and it's been an incredible experience.
Yeah, we were just up at the Team USA house the other night, and we were kind of doing a few interviews, and we saw Katie Ledecky came in, and it was amazing to be able to watch her race and then see her coming through the door. We're like, oh, wow, that's awesome. Seeing all the medals around her neck, we're like, damn, that's really cool. So, yeah, no, it's been amazing. And we're really looking forward to being here in Paris and being able to go a lot of all our events and really experience those winning moments with all the other athletes and be able to congratulate them. And looking forward to walking and closing ceremonies. We're just going to take it all in and really, enjoy the entire Olympic experience. It's
enjoy
fantastic.
Every second, guys. Enjoy it.
You imagine the Team USA house must be like the ultimate party place these days. I mean, it is like... All right.
Yeah, it's incredible. It is awesome there.
Well, enjoy spending some more time there in this last week. Ian, Hans, congrats to both of you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
All right, coming up,
Thank you.
thousandths of a second.
Yeah.
5,000ths of a second.
That was the margin. There you see that photo finish. Noah Lyles' dramatic 100-meter victory in Paris last night. We've got all the reaction to one of the closest sprints in Olympic history. And we'll take a look at what's in store for Team USA today. All right, this morning in Paris, Simone Biles was back on the beam, but did miss out on another medal to add to the 3 golds that she has already won.
Here's how the medal table is looking right now, with the U.S. further extending their medal count lead. It comes after a weekend where Team USA legend Katie Ledecky also further cemented herself into history this weekend.
Yeah. Just when you think she's done, Ledecky earned her 9th career gold medal, officially becoming the most decorated female Olympian in U.S. history.
NBC's Jay Gray live in Paris to bring us all of the top moments from the weekend. Hey there, Jay. What more can we say about the greatness of Katie Ledecky, right? At this point, she's the first woman ever to win 4 straight gold medals in the same event. She also wasn't the only one for Team USA to have a history-making weekend in the pool. Give us the highlights.
No, you're right, Christine, Joe. There are Olympians who are great, like top of the great. And then you've got Ledecky, who's above the great, top of the great. She's unbelievable. Bobby Fink, though, in the pool, really pulling one out for Team USA on the men's side. He wins the 1500 free with a gold medal, sets a world record in the process. And look, no individual swimmer on the men's side for Team USA has won a gold medal here. He made sure that a 120-year string stayed intact by bringing home that gold on the last night. The women's 4x100 medley. They swim to gold and a world record as well. That was incredible to see. The pool's been great to Team USA throughout all of this. And on the final night, the men's 4x100 medley, they bring home the silver. So a good night again in the pool.
All right, let's go over to gymnastics now. Apologies for the spoiler alert for some people who are just waking up this morning. But Suni Lee, Simone Biles, they did both fall during the balance beam routines this morning. We should note, though, Biles still, I don't want to say redeem herself because, my goodness, she's done so much already. Right. But she has one more opportunity. It's the floor event. Talk more about their performances today.
Yeah, and Joe, they weren't alone with problems with the beam. I'm calling for an inspection. I think some butter from the croissants or something may have gotten on the beam. A lot of people falling off that thing at times. Simone Biles finishes 5th. She fell. Suni Lee with a hard fall. She finishes 6th in a field of 8. Suni is done now, but she brings home 3 medals. That's fantastic. Simone Biles and Jordan Childs, they still got a chance. They've got the floor routine, and Simone Biles, a heavy favorite in that. So that'll be fun to watch as we move forward.
All right, now Noah Lyles looks to continue a very strong start there to the Olympics today after that thrilling gold medal. Oh my gosh, what are you looking forward to watching?
It doesn't get any closer than that.
No.
It's crazy how that thing ended up, and he was behind until the very end. Christine, Joe, here's what I'm watching. More of Noah Lyles on the track, and what is probably his strongest race, the 200, qualifying tonight. But you've also got the rest of the gymnastics, which I think is going to be cool. Beach volleyball, 2 U.S. matches today, and the women's basketball team, they're so dominant. They get back on the court. And, of course, you've got skateboarding, which is coming up this week. And we have been trying to show you some of the gear of Team USA. This is skateboarding. It gives me a bit of a bowling vibe, but it's skateboarding. And I want you to take a look at the back. This is the logo for skateboarding. It is an eagle. That's normal. You got the eagle. And then you've got the eagle playing the saxophone. That's a little, so I asked the skateboarders, what's that all about? And they tell me it's a nod to music and especially jazz, the improvisation there. Improvisation's such a big part of their sport. So you get it. They're kind of tying the two together. Here's a better look at the logo on the team tank top. And Joe, Christine, everyone having breakfast at home, you're welcome. I chose not to wear the tank top this morning.
That is awesome. And Jay, you are right. I'm definitely getting bowling shirt vibes from that one.
Nice.
Yeah. And you've got the skateboard.
There it is.
Very cool board here. It's going to be fun to watch them park Tuesday and Wednesday. This is a really American sport. I think we should see some medals.
All right, Jay. Thanks so much.
That is going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
The news continues right now. Good morning. I'm Christine Romans in for Savannah.
And I'm Joe Fryer. Breaking right now, Hurricane Debby roars ashore as heavy rain pounds the Florida panhandle. The National Hurricane Center warning a potentially life-threatening storm surge and major flooding across the southeast. Florida's governor declaring a state of emergency with hundreds of thousands already without power. We have team coverage as the storm bears down on Florida's Big Bend. Also happening this morning, making the cut. Vice President Kamala Harris meets with at least 3 potential running mates over the weekend. What we've learned about those meetings and the latest on the new debate battle brewing on the campaign trail. Plus, bracing for impact, Israel is preparing for a potential multi-day attack following the assassination of 2 senior Hamas and Hezbollah leaders. What officials say that attack could look like as American officials scramble to keep hopes of a ceasefire deal in Gaza alive. And photo finish in one of the closest races in Olympic history. American sprinter Noah Lyles eked out the title of fastest man alive. That's not the only place Team USA was making waves. We're going to have a look at all this weekend's historic action from Paris and what you need to watch out for as the games enter their final days. Good to have you with us. It is a busy morning. We're going to start in Florida, where Hurricane Debby is drenching the Gulf Coast. It officially made landfall in Steinhatchee as a Category 1 storm around 7 a.m. Eastern this morning. More than 200,000 people in Florida are already without power. The governors of Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina have all declared states of emergency, getting tens of thousands of emergency responders at the ready.
Yeah, forecasters say the biggest concern for this storm is the potential for historic rain. Some areas could see up to 20 to 30 inches, which could, of course, trigger life-threatening floods. We have full team coverage of Hurricane Debby. Meteorologist Michelle Grossman standing by with the latest forecast. And Tallahassee Mayor John Daly is here to explain how Florida's capital is prepared. Let's start with NBC News correspondent Jesse Kirsch, who is on the ground in Perry, Florida.
We're in Perry, Florida, as Hurricane Debby makes its way on shore. This is a Category 1 storm, of course, bringing storm surge and high winds, which are always a concern when you're talking about a hurricane. But the potential real threat here is the possibility of catastrophic flooding in some areas along the East Coast, because this storm is moving relatively at a crawl as far as these go, and that is going to allow a lot of rain to continue falling, not just here in Florida, but as well in Georgia and South Carolina over the next days ahead throughout this week. So that is what we're going to be watching for. But right now, Debby making its way onshore along Florida's Big Bend, the Gulf Coast, the northern Gulf Coast specifically, and we're right now in an area that was hit hard by Hurricane Idalia last year, and we're bracing for more potential damage in this area right now. Back to you.
All right, Jesse, thank you.
We're joined now by the mayor of Tallahassee, John Daly. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us. We know you're about, what, an hour and a half northwest of where this made landfall. What's the weather like where you are right now, and how are you preparing to brace for the coming hours?
Well, we've been preparing for the past week for this hurricane and making sure that our community is safe. And you're correct, we are to the west of where Hurricane Debby made landfall. So our community is still waiting to see what the impact's going to be. We had about 10,000 customers without power. We've restored about 7,000 of those customers already. We are keeping an eye on a band that's going to come through Tallahassee between 11 o'clock in the morning and 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I think that's going to be the brunt of what we're going to see. But as you mentioned earlier, we're very concerned about the amount of rain that we're going to be taking in the Big Bend area.
Yeah, rain, the biggest concern there for the metro area there. What's your message to residents?
You know, today is a great day just to stay home. We got to stay home, allow the professionals, the great men and women of the City of Tallahassee Electric Utility Department and all of our utilities, let them do their job. Let the public safety officers, police officers, firefighters, let them do their job. And now is the day just to stay at home. And our hearts are with our neighbors to the east of us in the Big Bend area. And we're going to take care of Tallahassee. And then we'll send our crews over to take care of the other communities and help out as much as we can. That's what we do in North Florida.
What are some of the resources you have available for people, especially if, say, their homes start taking on water?
We've had our sandbag locations opened up along with the county sandbag locations all over our community, and they're still available. As long as the winds are below 30 miles per hour, if you are in desperate need of sandbags, we can get them to you. But also we've got 6 shelters that are opened up at our schools in partnership with Leon County School System. So anyone that's also coming in from the coast that wants to evacuate, we do have space as well.
All right, Mayor John Daly, continue to stay safe. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Let's bring in meteorologist Michelle Grossman for the latest track and your morning news now forecast.
Hey there, Michelle. Good morning.
Hey there, guys. Great to see you. And we just had the latest advisory come in just a few minutes ago. It has weakened a bit. Still, though, a Category 1 storm, winds at 70 miles per hour. It's going to continue to weaken in terms of those wind speeds, but the rain is going to fall for days and days. Still moving at the northeast at 10 miles per hour, but look at all this rain falling. You see those darker colors, the reds, the oranges, the yellows. That's where it is pouring. This is tropical downpours, and it's going to stay in place for a long time to come. The winds are gusting to up to 55 miles per hour in Perry, 53 miles per hour in Live Oak. So we're still seeing some winds gusting over 50 miles per hour. Again, the ground is very saturated. There's still leaves on the trees. That could bring down some trees, also some power lines. We have over 200,000 people in Florida without power. That number is probably going to grow. Here's our forecasted track. Unfortunately, it remains the same. We're going to move very slowly over the next several days. We don't have steering currents. Usually steering currents, high pressures, low pressures, winds will move it out of here, or at least it's going to make it move faster. We do not have those in place. So it's going to meander over the southeast over the next several days. And this is a story that we're going to be talking about for days and most likely will make history in terms of the rainfall. So Tuesday, Wednesday, then it kind of goes over the Atlantic. It's back over land. And we're still talking about Friday and Saturday, still a tropical storm by Friday. And then by Saturday, looking at a remnant low, but still seeing that rain falling. We have tropical alerts from southern Florida through central Florida into portions of Georgia, also the Carolinas. We have tropical storm watches, hurricane warnings as well, and a whole lot of rain that we are expecting. See these darker colors here? That's corresponding to the numbers on this scale. So 15 inches in places like Charleston, Savannah, Myrtle Beach. You're going to see a whole lot of rain. Same with Brunswick. But we could see locally 20 to 30 inches of rain. That's going to create some flooding. It's also going to create some flash flooding, life-threatening, catastrophic, very, very dangerous situations. So you want to take any warnings you can now, especially in the Carolinas where we flood pretty easily there. Let's talk about some other weather news because we are looking at Midwest storms today. We have an area of low pressure, a cold front that's really draped across the northern tier of the nation, portions of the upper Midwest into the northern parts of the Ohio Valley, the interior parts of the Northeast into New England. We'll see the chance for some strong to severe storms. We're seeing some lightning even early this morning, those darker colors, as I mentioned, indicating where that heavy rain is falling. So throughout portions of Minnesota, into parts of the Great Lakes as well. 29 million people impacted. Could see winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. Some hail, a few tornadoes are possible, though that's not the highest on the risk, but still could see a few tornadoes. Otherwise, we're hot and dry in the west. We are hot and humid in the south central states. That makes it kind of soupy there, and we're only going to get hotter. We're going to be into the triple digits over the next several days. So severe storms in the northern part, but of course, the big story today will be Debby. As far as the heat alerts go, we have 31 million people impacted throughout the west, also the south central states along the Gulf Coast. And again, we'll be seeing triple digits over the next several days.
All right.
Wow. Gosh, you just come with everything.
Summer, all the summer.
So much.
Michelle Grossman.
It's a Monday forecast.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
It is expected to be a big week in the race for the White House as Vice President Harris is set to announce her running mate. She interviewed potential VP candidates over the weekend, according to a source familiar with those meetings. This comes as former President Trump is ramping up personal attacks on his rival. NBC News Chief White House correspondent Peter Alexander has the latest from the campaign trail.
Good morning to you. For Vice President Harris, the accelerated timeline to select a running mate is now winding down, with Harris and her yet-to-be-named pick set to appear together at a rally in Philadelphia tomorrow night. But we are getting a better sense this morning of what exactly she is looking for. A source familiar with the vice president's process telling me among her priorities, finding a potential governing partner who demonstrates competence, has chemistry with Harris, and shares her core values.
With a self-imposed deadline to announce her pick for running mate by tomorrow night, Vice President Kamala Harris hosted at least 3 contenders at her Washington residence Sunday: Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, who returned home late Sunday, a day after playing coy with reporters.
I'm taking my dog for a walk.
In a sign of the heightened scrutiny, Kelly deleting a tweet Sunday that read in part, "I spent my life serving in the Navy and at NASA, where the mission always comes first. Now my mission is serving Arizonans." His staff later saying it was just a standard post. His account later tweeting out, "When your country asks you to serve, you always answer the call."
Good evening.
It's unclear whether the vice president herself interviewed 3 other finalists: Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. Since President Biden stepped down 2 weeks ago, a new poll shows Harris has erased former President Trump's advantage nationwide, and it's a statistical dead heat in those key battlegrounds. It follows Mr. Trump's weekend rally in Georgia, where he reignited an old feud against the swing state's Republican governor, Brian Kemp.
He's a disloyal guy, and he's a very average governor.
Mr. Trump also accusing the vice president of being a liberal.
We have to work hard to define her. I don't want to even define her. I just want to say who she is. She's a horror show. She'll destroy our country.
And continuing his personal attacks.
She happens to be really a low IQ individual. She really does. She has a very low IQ. We don't need a low IQ.
Now up in the air whether the two will face off in a debate next month.
Meet me on the debate stage, because as the saying goes, if you've got something to say,
Mr. Trump this weekend pulling out of a scheduled debate with the vice president, instead proposing a separate matchup hosted by Fox News. The Harris campaign mocking Mr. Trump on social media, writing, "It's interesting how any time, any place becomes one specific time, one specific safe space," saying she'll be there on September 10th, like he agreed to.
The VP announcement will kick off a week-long sprint for Harris and her running mate. Their appearance together in Philadelphia tomorrow night, the first of 7 rallies and events over 5 days in the country's most competitive states: Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. Back to you.
All right, Peter, thank you so much.
In the Middle East, Israel bracing for retaliation strikes from Iran over last week's killing of a top Hamas leader in Tehran. This morning, the U.S. is deploying military personnel to the area to help de-escalate tensions, while President Biden and his national security team are closely monitoring this situation. For more, let's bring in NBC News international correspondent Raf Sanchez. He's in Tel Aviv for us and joins us with the latest. Good morning, Raf. How quickly does the U.S. expect Iran to attack, and how could it be different from that strike we saw in April, where they used hundreds of drones and missiles to attack Israel?
Christine, good morning. Every indication is the U.S. believes this Iranian attack on Israel is coming, and it is coming soon. President Biden due to speak this morning to the King of Jordan, a key American ally whose airspace was incredibly important in terms of intercepting those Iranian missiles back in April. Later in the day, he is convening his top national security officials in the White House Situation Room. That is as the U.S. deploys additional forces to the Middle East. That's an aircraft carrier, it's warships, it's an extra squadron of fighter jets. In terms of how this could be different from what we saw back in April, that was an Iranian attack that lasted a single night. It was several waves of drones and missiles. An Israeli official tells NBC News they are bracing for something potentially worse this time, a multi-day attack by both Iran and Hezbollah because of the assassination of that Hamas political chief in Tehran and the killing of a senior Hezbollah commander in Beirut last week. Both have vowed to retaliate against Israel. Christine.
And over the weekend, Raf, Israel hit 2 schools and a hospital compound in Gaza, and a stabbing attack carried out by a Palestinian killed 2 people in Tel Aviv. Bring us up to date there.
Yeah, another grim and bloody weekend in the region. The Israeli military hitting a series of schools where families have been sheltering after being displaced from their homes. Israel says it was targeting Hamas terrorists who have been hiding among the civilian population, sheltering in those schools. But the Gaza Health Ministry says at least 25 people were killed, most of them women and children. And then here in Israel, in the greater Tel Aviv area, there was a stabbing attack over the weekend. 2 elderly Israelis were killed in that. The attacker was then shot dead by Israeli police. But just adding to the tension of this looming Iranian Hezbollah attack is this continuing violence on the ground in Gaza and to a much lesser extent here in Israel.
And I wonder,
Christine.
how is the international community reacting to these latest developments in the conflict?
So we're seeing a string of warnings from the U.S., from other countries to their citizens in Lebanon, telling them to get out. There have been kind of scenes of chaos at the airport in Beirut, people scrambling before this fighting starts. There is a statement out from the G7 this morning. They are appealing for calm, saying that these tensions threaten to ignite a conflict all across the region. And then you have Secretary Blinken, Secretary Austin, who are traveling together in Asia, but they are devoting a lot of their time to trying to contain this potential conflict in the Middle East, working the phones, dealing with their counterparts. Secretary Austin speaking to the Israeli defense minister overnight. Christine.
Right. Raf, thanks so much. And we have breaking news out of Bangladesh this morning, where the prime minister has resigned after several days of deadly protests there. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina left the country this morning after nearly 100 people died in protests demanding that she step down. The protests had been going since June, but recently turned violent in reaction to a sharp military crackdown. The protesters were upset over a new policy she proposed that gave preferential treatment for public sector jobs.
Newly released surveillance video from the family of Devontae Mitchell shows the final moments leading up to his death at a Milwaukee hotel. Mitchell was pinned to the ground by security officers outside a Hyatt Regency back in June. On Friday, the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office released the report on his cause of death, ruling it a homicide. NBC News correspondent Adrian Broadus joins us now with the latest on this. Adrian, good morning. So first of all, just walk us through this newly released footage. What have we learned about Mitchell's final moments? And we do want to warn viewers here, this is hard to watch video.
Yes, this video that you are looking at on your screen right now may be a challenge for some. This newly released video sheds light on what happened that day. The video from inside of the hotel shows the staff dragging Mitchell, punching him in the face repeatedly, as you see here, with a closed fist. Also hitting him with their walkie-talkies and kicking him in the face. At one point, he gets up and appears to try to run away before his death there.
So, Adrian, I mean, yeah, as we mentioned, Mitchell's death was ruled a homicide by the coroner's office on Friday. What else is the ME saying about the cause of death here?
According to the medical examiner's office, and if you look on your screen, you can see the immediate cause of death was restraint asphyxia. due to toxic effects of cocaine and methamphetamine, as well as other underlying health conditions. Now, that is the report from the ME's office, which was released on Friday. The same day, attorneys representing Devontae Mitchell's family shared this video from inside of that hotel with members of the media. Joe?
And Ben Crump, the attorney for the Mitchell family, he's comparing this case to the murder of George Floyd. He also says the medical examiner's ruling demands, quote, immediate charges. We do know sometimes in situations medical examiners declare something a homicide, we don't necessarily see criminal charges. What do we know at this point? Where does the investigation stand?
So let's start with that. I did speak with a representative from the ME's office, and I was told that they should have a complete autopsy report within the next 2 weeks. That was what they told me last week when I checked in. Meanwhile, as you mentioned, attorneys for the family, including high-profile attorney Ben Crump, have compared this to the killing of George Floyd. But we do need to be clear, these are not sworn-in police officers. George Floyd was killed by a former police officer. But Ben Crump and members of the family say it should not take this long to initiate charges. That is what they want based on the video evidence seen here. Now, police have said Devontae Mitchell entered that hotel that day and caused a disturbance. We don't know what the disturbance was. Whatever the disturbance was, Mitchell's family as well as Attorney Crump say it did not, shouldn't have led to this type of activity by those employees who have been terminated.
All right, Adrian, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Coming up, if you're on the lookout for a new job, you are going to want to hear this story. Fortune just released its top companies list, and there's some good news for American workers. We'll explain why.
But first, it was a race so close. It came down to 5/1000ths of a second. We're diving in, running into that incredible 100-meter final and all the other highlights from a historic weekend in Paris. That's next. Welcome back. It was a weekend full of podium finishes for Team USA with the potential for even more today. This morning, it was heartbreak for women's gymnastics as Simone Biles and Suni Lee both missed out on medals in the balance beam final. But Biles will look to rebound with the floor event later this morning after an incredible performance by her to continue a string of record-setting performances for Team USA.
Swimming legend Katie Ledecky made even more history this year, becoming the first woman to win gold in the same event in 4 separate years. That was then followed by Americans setting world record times in the men's 1,500-meter freestyle and women's 4x100-meter medley relay. NBC's Jay Gray is live in Paris to bring us all the top moments from the weekend and already even today. Jay, let's start with the big headline from the weekend. Track and field American Noah Lyles won that photo finish in the 100-meter sprint to secure the gold. He's the fastest man in the world, and I don't know what that makes the person who's 5/1000ths of a second behind you pretty darn close to the fastest man in the world. Walk us through that one and who else we saw medal this weekend.
Wasn't it amazing? I mean, Joe, Christine, you've got this race where Lyles did not have a good start. He was behind at the midpoint. He surges toward the end, and there's a crowd of runners there. He stretches across the tape first, but the fastest men in the world had to actually wait for a while to find out who won. They had to go to the photo finish, and he wins that. Fred Curry, a teammate on Team USA, with the bronze in that 100, and he wasn't that far behind either. It was an incredible race to see. You've got over the weekend Sha'Carri Richardson. She, came into this thing as the world champion. She had a great season leading into the Olympics. It was a stormy day at the Olympic Stadium. I was there for that race, and there were pools of water on the track. She ends up with the silver, which is great. I know it's not what she was looking for, but she gets the silver. Melissa Jefferson, her teammate, gets the bronze in the 100. The mixed 4x400 with a silver. They were the world record holders coming into this, and really got, just at the end of the race, overtaken there, and they end up with the silver. Women's triple jump, Jasmine Moore with a bronze. That was great to see. And Ryan Krauser, wow. I mean, this guy with the shot put, unbelievable. 3 gold medals in a row. He threw so well on the first throw, he would have never had to throw again. He won it on his first throw, but his teammate, Joe Kovacs, he got the silver on his last throw. So that's a pretty big deal as well, gold and silver in shot put.
Wow. with even more chance for hardware in gymnastics today, by the way. It's the Olympic viral sensation, Steven Nedorosik, who continued to win the hearts of America. He was back on the podium after doing what he does best on the so-called Pommel Horse King. What do we expect to see there?
Yeah, I mean, he was fantastic. It was great to see him focused and determined. Ireland, Kazakhstan, gold and silver, and he takes home the bronze. He was so good throughout these Olympics. He sealed it for the team bronze for Team USA, so that was fun to see. And as you talked about earlier, Simone Biles, I mean, what are you saying? She's got a chance at one more gold on the closing night of gymnastics. So very good for those teams as well.
Steven Nedorosik is like the Clark Kent now of the gymnastics. Right? The glasses on, the glasses come off, and it's all business. All right. Where are we at with the medal count, Jay? And then what else are we watching for today beyond the gymnastics?
Yeah, well, the medal count looks great, as you would expect, because all we talk about is Team USA winning medals. 72 overall, a strong lead there. 19 goals. They were tied at the end of yesterday with China. China's won 2 today. We've got a chance for at least 2 more golds today, so watch that continue to go back and forth. Finish out the top 5 with the home country, France. They're having a great Olympics here. Great Britain, and then Australia to round out the top 5. Today should be a lot of fun. We talked about gymnastics. Watch for some of the beach volleyball. 2 American teams have matches there today. You've also got the women's basketball team, and they're kind of a given, right? It's so fun to watch how good they are. They're going for their 58th straight Olympic win today, and that should be pretty good to watch. It's hard to believe that's the case. Joe, we had talked earlier in the week, 92 in Barcelona was the last time they lost. I can't even compute that.
No.
Jay, thanks so much. And enjoy today's events. You've got the best gig out there right now. Thanks, Jay. Giggles.
A history-making middle-distance runner will be making their Olympic debut tomorrow. Nikki Hiltz, who is transgender and non-binary, will compete in the 1,500-meter women's race. Hiltz qualified for Paris at the U.S. Olympic trials back in June after clocking the 2nd fastest time ever recorded by an American in the women's 1,500-meter. Before they left for Paris, I chatted with Nikki about becoming a role model on and off the track. What was that moment? Describe that moment when you knew that you were going to the Olympics.
It was just unreal. Like, I think a lot of it was joy, a lot of relief, and then a little bit of surprise too, because it's a lifelong dream come true. And I think it was also the whole week leading up to it, I was very trying to not think about the Olympics and really just approach it as it's just another race. You know how to compete, just do what you know how to do. And so then I think right when I finished, it's okay, now I can think about the Olympics. And it was just a lot of excitement.
When you made the Olympic team, you dedicated it to all the LGBTQ folks. You say this is bigger than you. Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just one queer person, and I could stand on the start line and know that no matter what, whether I'm first or last, I'm going to have support and love for my community. And I think that allows me to run with no expectations and no focus on the outcome and just enjoy being in the moment and doing. And so it's kind of I just feel so grateful for the community for just showing me so much love. And yeah, I just wanted to thank them for allowing me to run so free.
Have you felt that love over the last few weeks?
Definitely. Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been awesome.
It was March 31st, 2021. You came out as transgender and non-binary. What has that meant to you as a person and as an athlete?
It was just a big moment for me to kind of show up as myself, and it was really vulnerable, and it took a while for people to get used to it, right? It's not easy to use they them pronouns. It's an adjustment, but I'm just so proud of just how far the track and field community has come. Yeah, anyone watching who maybe uses they them pronouns or identifies as non-binary can be oh, track and field can be a space where I can show up as myself, and I think that's just really powerful.
There is so much misinformation out there, including people falsely saying you're a biological male who wants to compete in women's sports. How do you handle that? People automatically making these false assumptions.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty sad. It's I don't know. It's kind of this complex thing that I'm still trying to navigate. But I mean, I've learned it's been about 3 years now, and there's not a comment I haven't seen. I've heard it all. I've heard that people think I'm a trans woman, and then people also think that I'm a trans man who's on, taking hormone replacement therapy, and then I'm on testosterone. That's why I'm fast. And just, but I think I can sleep easy or I'm at peace with myself because I know my truth. And I know, like, I'm literally just a person who's always competed in the women's category. And I would want people, when referring to me, to use they, them pronouns. Like, it's that simple. And like, I also think there's so many opportunities to educate people. And sure, there's people who are ignorant and are never going to get it, but like, there is people in the middle who maybe just don't know what non-binary means. And I think, me showing up is a great opportunity to like educate and inform people of, hey, this is an identity that exists. And like, it's not that crazy.
For you, what's the goal in Paris?
Yeah, I mean, I'm someone that tries not to focus on the outcome and tries not to have any expectation. Just go in and do what I know how to do, which is race and compete. And so I'm just hoping to put together a really, really good 1500. And the goal is definitely to be in the final. I have to get there first. There's 3 rounds. But yeah, in the final, I want to have a really good last lap. Like, that's my goal. And so I know if I do that, the outcomes that I want are definitely achievable.
Nikki has leaned on other athletes for advice, including Chris Mosier, the first openly transgender athlete to compete on Team USA. Nikki's first run will take place tomorrow. If they make it all the way to the final, which you heard there is their goal, that is scheduled to take place on Saturday.
All right, we're staying on top of breaking news this morning as Hurricane Debby slams into the Florida Panhandle.
We are sitting down with emergency officials as heavy rain pounds the coast. Stay with us.
Welcome back. We are continuing to monitor Hurricane Debby along the Florida Gulf Coast after it made landfall earlier this morning as a Category 1 hurricane at 7 a.m. Eastern time.
Numerous warnings were issued throughout the state and southeastern U.S. as Debby is packing a punch. The storm is expected to bring potentially life-threatening storm surge in portions of Florida and major flooding over the southeast over the coming days. Debby is expected to weaken as it continues to move inland. We're going to have more on Debby's track when we check in with meteorologist Michelle Grossman in a moment. We're also going to check in with the director of Franklin County Emergency Management for more on the situation there. But let's start with NBC News correspondent Marissa Parra in Steinhatchee, Florida, off the Gulf Coast, where the storm officially made landfall around 7 o'clock Eastern this morning. Marissa, good morning. What are the conditions like right now?
Hey, Joe and Christine, good morning from Steinhatchee, Florida, where Debby made landfall, as you just mentioned. I want to point to something that we are seeing on the ground here. Since we've been out here, this water, this is the Steinhatchee River next to me, all around me, this water level has been rising even since we've been here. And I'll just point out, it might be hard to tell because I'm sitting on top of a floating dock, but if you look behind me, that used to be a walkable dock. The water level has already risen several feet, making it impossible to walk on that dock over there. So what we have seen is indicative of the biggest threat that Debby poses, because we have seen Hurricane Idalia come through the same part of Florida. It's called the Big Bend area, and that was much stronger with wind strength. But where Debby lacks in wind strength, makes up for it with rainfall. The flood risks, the storm surges, these are the biggest risks in these coastal communities, and of course not just here in Florida, but further north in Georgia and South Carolina. And so in terms of what we're seeing here, Joe, we have seen the wind gusts picking up on and off. We were in the eye of the storm. Now, of course, we are just starting to see maybe those outer bands coming through here. But at its strongest, Joe, we were having to hold on to our hats here and kind of hunker down because the outer bands, those wind gusts, were getting upwards of 90 miles per hour. And another fun fact for you, we're only 15 miles away from where Hurricane Idalia made landfall last year, almost 1 year ago, guys. So this is a part that is vulnerable, a part of Florida that is vulnerable because they are still recovering from what Idalia did a year ago.
Yeah, that's right. Marissa, what could be some of the top priorities then for first responders once the storm clears that area?
And that depends on what we see here. There's a couple of priorities. Of course, depending on the flooding, they're going to take those boats out like we saw last year and make sure that nobody is trapped inside of their home. That is going to be a top priority. But something else that we're seeing, I'm going to try to make sure I don't lose my hat here. Something else that we are seeing is many people without power. When I last checked this morning, it was over 140,000. That number fluctuates off and on. But remember, it's August. It is hot. Right now we have cloud cover. But when that sun comes back, we saw this with Beryl in Texas. When you don't have power, that's not a good situation, especially in Florida. So another priority, they have lots of crews on standby to restore power with those down power lines, guys.
All right, Marissa, continue to stay safe. Thank you for that update. Appreciate it.
All right, we are joined now by Jennifer Daniels. She is the director of Franklin County Emergency Management. And Jennifer, good morning, and thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us and tell us what's happening there in Franklin County. You issued a mandatory evacuation order for all barrier islands yesterday, as well as the other flood-prone areas. What is the situation like on the ground right now, and what are you preparing for in the coming hours?
Well, right now we are extremely lucky. We have had some wind gusts with the bands coming across. We had a little bit of surge this morning, but we are extremely lucky and doing really well right now. In the coming week, we are going to be preparing for river flooding, which will be an issue with all of the rainfall north of us coming down our rivers into Franklin County.
Yeah, we should know you are west of where this hurricane made landfall, but it's the long-term impact that's most worrying here. We think of the flooding just automatically from the rains, but you bring up the point of the rivers. Explain that to folks, because that's something that's going to be days of worry, right?
Yeah. We have had a lot of rainfall in the last week, and so now you're going to add on the rainfall from the storm, which will come down the rivers into our bays, and we will deal with the flooding on the river levels through the next week. It takes time for the water to come down.
What resources are available for those residents under the mandatory evacuation orders, and what is your most important message to people so they can stay safe in the coming hours here?
Most important message is to stay informed. Stay informed. Have multiple ways to be informed. We have Alert Franklin here in Franklin County that you can sign up for on our website to continue to be informed about any of the resources that we do have available. So please sign up for Alert Franklin. Pay attention to our website and your local officials. Pay attention to your local media, and again, stay informed. That's the best thing to do.
Jennifer Daniels, thank you for joining us, and stay safe.
Thank you.
For more, let's check in with meteorologist Michelle Grossman.
She's been tracking Hurricane Debbie's movements all morning for us. Good morning, Michelle. What's the latest?
Good morning, guys. And we're going to continue to track Debbie all week long because we are looking at a very slow-moving system, and yet the worst is yet to come. We're looking at rainfall totals over the past 24 hours. Already Sarasota, over 10 inches of rain already. Nearly 5.5 in Tampa, over 4 inches in Crystal River. Look at Perry, 2.6, so over 2.5 inches of rain. And we're adding to these totals as we go throughout the day. We're talking about tropical downpours, and we're talking about a very slow-moving system. It's moving about 10 miles per hour right now. It's going to slow down. It's going to crawl over the next several days. Also looking at the winds gusting. We're not looking at, amazing numbers here, but still looking at a wind gust of 62 miles per hour in Perry, up to 53 in Live Oak. These wind gusts are enough to bring some trees and power lines down, especially with saturated grounds. As Jennifer mentioned, we had some rain in Florida, so the ground is already wet and saturated. We're adding some rainfall on top of that, and the trees have leaves on them, so that makes it really heavy. So we could see some trees coming down and adding to those power outages. I think I last checked, it's about 227,000 in Florida without power. I think Marissa had a really good point. It's hot in Florida. You need that air conditioning, so that makes it particularly dangerous if you go days and days without air conditioning. As we talk about the winds going forward, we could see uprooted trees, some damage to homes as well, some widespread power outages, because we're still going to see winds gusting over 40 miles per hour, even 60, 70 in some spots over the next couple of hours. That will come down, though, as this continues to move inland. In terms of extreme rainfall, this will by far be the takeaway from this storm. This will be historical. It will be life-threatening. It will be catastrophic. And we are talking really high numbers, especially in portions of Georgia into South Carolina, where you see those darker colors, especially the reds, the oranges. Charleston, Savannah could see a whole lot of rain. It doesn't take a lot of rain to flood there. So when you're adding 15 inches, even up to 20, 30 inches in some spots, that's going to create a lot of problems. We're talking about storm surge. Most of this has happened right now in where you're seeing the red. So we saw about 6-foot storm surge. That is salt water. That's a wall of water moving on land, in addition to the fresh water flowing. And we're going to see a storm surge about 2 to 4 feet along the Carolina coast. Keep in mind that rainfall's coming down. It's going to meet up with this ocean water. So the rainfall's not going to have a lot of places to go. And that's why we're concerned about flooding. We're concerned about flash flooding. always concerned about the risk for tornadoes when we have landfalling hurricanes. We have a tornado watch over the next several hours for portions of Florida. And that heavy rain will make the tornadoes difficult to see. That's called rain-wrapped. The good news with these tornadoes, they tend to be short-lived and move on pretty quickly. So, guys, today we're going to continue to watch this move very slowly over Florida, Georgia, and then the next several days over the Carolinas. Again, we will be talking about this at least through Friday and Saturday.
All right, Michelle, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Still ahead this morning, new research is shining a light on racial disparities when it comes to diagnosing Parkinson's.
After the break, we'll take a look at why Black patients are underdiagnosed and the effect that's having on treatment programs.
We're back now with a look at racial disparities in healthcare and how they affect people who are being treated with Parkinson's disease. Research published in the journal Nature found that Black patients are diagnosed with Parkinson's disease at half the rate as white patients. Because of that, researchers are now saying there is a huge gap in relief programs all across the country. Joining us now to discuss is emergency medicine physician Dr. Samson Davis. Dr. Davis, good to have you with us. So, why are we seeing this gap when it comes to Black people being diagnosed with Parkinson's? I know it's something we see in so many other healthcare issues. And then what's the effect this is having on treatment programs?
Yeah, Joe, I mean, this is a good point. This is reflective of so many issues we see in healthcare throughout our country. What happens with Parkinson's is a decrease in dopamine. So you get the facial rigidity, the stiffness, the inability to walk as easy as you used to. And when it comes to the study, what Nature has shown here is that physicians, we do a poor job in recognizing this, specifically in Black patients, because of the disconnect. This is a somewhat of a sort of diagnosis of just no blood tests. We just see the patient and we see some of these symptoms that we diagnose with Parkinson's. On the other side, we see as well Black patients sometimes are more reluctant to admit to some of the symptoms they're having because of the trust factor that that exists, or the mistrust that exists with medicine and healthcare.
I mean, bottom line, Dr. Davis, recent research points to bias as one of the reasons that patients of color are not being diagnosed at the same rate as white patients. Talk more about the role that bias plays and what are some of the best solutions to that.
Yeah, I mean, studies have shown over and over again, the more that we have participation in cultural differences, the better we are as a nation. So when it comes to biases, when I bring my biases into the treatment of a patient, whether it's conscious or unconscious, it prevents progression and development and advancement in healthcare, in all industries for that fact. And so it's so important for us to sort of take a step back and realize, are we seeing the patient? Do we hear the patient? Do we understand the patient? Are we creating trust? This not only helps with Black patients, but helps with all patients across all cultural boundaries. So I think it's important for us to really see that this study shows that 6 million people a year suffer from Parkinson, and that all the programs, including exercise, which is a huge benefit in progressions and development advancement in treating Parkinson's, is being somewhat withheld from Black patients because of the underdiagnosis of Parkinson's in Black and brown people.
Let's talk about that element of exercise. I know I did a story on the benefits of boxing for so many people who've been diagnosed with Parkinson's. Talk more about exercise, how it's helping those in need, and what we can do to make sure more people have access to that.
No, very good point. So with Parkinson's is a decrease in dopamine. So what dopamine is a hormone that makes us feel good, makes us feel sharper, kind of more quick to respond, like more engaged. So exercise have shown that what it does is it decreases the effects of Parkinson's over a lengthy period of time, and it prolongs a person's life. Like the famous person, this famous people that we know that have Parkinson's, but there has to be more representation of color in order, I think, for us to make the advancements. But it helps to have these have culture differences present, because what it does, you can see what helps for one culture versus the next culture, and what's more impactful in the treatment, the advancements of Parkinson's disease itself.
All right, Dr. Samson Davis, such an important conversation. We appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Fortune has just released its annual Global 500 list, highlighting the world's top companies in 2023. For the 11th year in a row, Walmart came out on top, followed by Amazon at the #2 spot. In total, 139 U.S. companies were featured on this year's list. Fortune executive editor Matt Heimer is with us to break the list down. Good morning, Matt. Walk us through how you put this list together and how Walmart manages to stay the top dog for so long.
Sure. Well, good morning. Thanks for having me, Christine. The Global 500, Fortune's Global 500, basically measures the largest companies in the world based on annual revenue. So my team and my editor, my list editor, Scott DiCarlo, spend the year compiling revenue data from all over the world. And that's the measure by which Walmart keeps coming out on top. Last year, they had $648 billion in revenue. They got 10,000 stores worldwide. Their e-commerce business is now like a 75 or 80 billion a year business, and that's what keeps them up top.
You know, American companies, U.S. companies outnumbered Chinese companies on this list, I think, for the first time since, 2018? I mean, I know last year, the U.S. economy was kind of the envy of the world when others were really kind of faltering. The U.S. remained strong. Is that the factor, you think, behind that change?
It definitely is. It has a lot, and it has a lot to do with spending on the consumer front. In spite of inflation and high interest rates, American consumers kept spending. That's one thing that boosted Walmart. It boosted Amazon.com. At the same time, in China, you saw some tentativeness among consumers. They weren't really going out and spending in the same way that they had when their economy was growing faster. Chinese banks and real estate developers also really took a heavy hit. So all of those things meant that, essentially China had a net loss of companies and the States had a net gain.
I see that financial companies bounced back on the global list last year, with banks, insurance sector leading the way. What is that a symbol of?
In some ways, that reflects the impact of higher interest rates. When rates are higher, banks can make greater profits on their lending, and insurance companies gain more revenue from their holdings on cash and bonds. In fact, altogether, the financial sector companies had profits of $1 trillion last year worldwide, which is pretty insane. It's not necessarily a marker of broader economic strength, though, because, of course, higher interest rates are designed in some ways to slow down economic growth. And as we've been seeing from the jobs numbers that came out at the end of last week and the markets being hit over the last couple of days, at this point, those interest rates are starting to bite. So what's good for banks is not necessarily good for the economy as a whole.
All right, Matt Heimer, thanks so much for that.
Thanks for having me.
All right, coming up, he lost his sight when he was just 18 years old, but now he's becoming a symbol of the Olympic spirit in Paris.
After the break, we're going to introduce you to the blind skateboarder who is inspiring hope all around the world. Welcome back. Olympic athletes weren't the only ones going for gold this weekend. A few pups in California made quite a splash. Dogs from all over the world attended the annual World Dog Surfing Championships in Pacifica, California. 20 pups from all backgrounds fetched a few waves and put their best paw forward. Heats were scored based on overall surfing performance. Some dogs rode solo, others shared a party wave with their owners or other furry friends. The winner, known as the top surf dog, was a chocolate lab from Brazil named Cacao.
I mean, can you still say hang 10? I'm not sure.
Paw?
Hang 20? I don't know. All right. And of course, the chocolate lab. They love the water.
Yeah.
Let's end this hour on a man who's inspiring the next generation of skateboarders in Paris. Nick Mullins lost his vision at just 18 years old, forcing him to learn how to skate all over again. Now he's been invited to Paris to demo skate the courses. Nick Monticelli of our Detroit affiliate WDIV has that story.
So this is his bank, and it's about...
Yeah, it's real tight.
For Nick Mullins, every new skate park is a brand new challenge.
And then coming to the side of it here.
George, likewise, is a friend, coach, mentor, and the owner of Modern Skate and Surf in Madison Heights.
And then you got a little bit of transition down this side.
He gives Nick Mullins, the blind skateboarder from Troy, a precise ramp-by-ramp tour everywhere they go, even here in Paris.
Please forgive me, but how do you do this if you can't see a thing?
Well, it's been a lot of hard work to get where I'm at now. Just a lot of practice, a lot of perseverance. It's very tedious. I mean, realistically, what I do when I walk up on a ramp is I'll walk it out, kind of check how wide the ramp is or the feature that I'm skating, decide if this is worth even like trying to work it out, get like some type of mental 3D imagery of what I'm trying to skate in my mind.
But dude, I can't walk through my house with the lights off. So how do you...
It's a lot. I mean, I kind of had to force to learn like this.
Mullins is now 33. He lost his vision when he was 18. He was riding a skateboard.
I ended up just hitting a crack going pretty fast, flew through the air, slid across the ground, and got road rash from my hip to my knee. And MRSA staph infection ended up getting into the cut and took over from there.
So how long did it take you to kind of get your bearings again and get confidence to be good again?
Well, from out of the hospital, because I walked out of the hospital weighing about 90 pounds. So it took me about 6 months to even be able to stand, and then 3 months from there to actually put my foot on my board and roll for the first time.
He kept rolling on, determined to make it back into the skate park he grew up in.
I grew up kind of rough. Didn't really have a lot of family, didn't have a lot of friends. So skateboarding was like that one thing that was my best friend, my everything. You know, it was like home to me. So it's just, it was easy to fall right back into that when in my life, thinking it was falling apart and having nothing. And it was a tool to build me back up to where I am today.
And where he is today, Paris, the Olympics, being asked to perform as a symbol of hope with a message of perseverance.
You know, you don't know what you're really, capable of until you put yourself there and try. And you can conquer mountains. Just get out there and do it,
What a great message. I like that skateboarding was like home to him.
His best friend.
Exactly.
That skateboard. That's amazing. And also just to show at the Olympics at that venue the different ranges of abilities that we all have, and you can celebrate your ability. And that's what that's all about.
And now his home has
Amazing.
taken him to Paris. Our thanks to Nick Monticelli for that report. That is going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
The news continues right now.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.